Hello everyone, it is B with the B Code and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to my subscribers and those who watch my videos. So in today's video, as you can see, the title is This is Why the Black Man is Irresponsible in the Black Manosphere. Now I'm basing this video off of Miles Cunningham's video that he did when he received the white male caller that called in to his show to disagree with what he was saying. And so I kind of want to just break down what the caller was saying and kind of give my point of view as to what I feel he was talking about and where he was coming from. Now, here's the thing. He wasn't wrong with what he was saying. It's just that the context he was putting it in, the verbiage he was using was sort of harsh. And so we had a lot of female YouTubers get on YouTube and just really bash Miles because they felt that he didn't stand up to himself, stand up for himself. He didn't stand up to the white caller, and in their opinion, it made him look bad. Well, the reason I am really giving this man's name, because I want you guys to go to his channel and I want you to look at the video for yourself in the context, in the real context. So at the beginning of the video, Miles did, express to the gentleman that, hey, you're calling into my show, I'm not your wife, and, just please keep it, respectful. So he did send him to himself in the beginning. Now, what I want to do is I want to give Miles an A for amazing. Because you see, what a lot of people don't understand is that you're not supposed to be so quick to use your mouth in response to initial contact with a person, because if you do that, you cut them short and you won't get their point of view, hence that you won't allow them to play their hand. I think this was a really good segment that Miles posted, because it allowed us to sort of see where a portion of the white population is coming from. With this caller, there are a lot of men that still feel the way he feels, and they still use the verbiage that he uses. Now, here's what I want to say about the way he was talking. You, as a nurse, I deal with patients like the caller. I don't want to. I'm not going to say on a daily basis, but we do come in contact with people from back in the day, with patients from back in the day. And sometimes, they don't want to receive their medications from a Black person. A lot of times they have difficulty with the Black male nurses. However, we have to understand that the way a person has been raised, it's hard to pull them out of that. So instead of to immediately get defensive because of a way a person was raised and their communication style, you sort of you misunderstand where they're coming from when they're trying to make a point. So I understand where this caller is coming from. I understand his communication style, and I understand that the way he is communicating is coming from the way he was raised. So I think Miles did a very, very, very good job and not immediately uh, being defensive because of the way the man was talking. Plus, had he intervened in an angry manner, we would not have been privy to the caller's thoughts and how some of society feels. So I want to I want to start off by um, looking at this clip right here. Because when the caller says, all you guys want to do is have sex, 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 well, there are a lot of porn sites out here that you can view at home and that you can view from your phone. So we do have a lot of black men that watch porn videos. However, porn was not developed by the black man. This was something that was put into place and had nothing to do with him. Um, when the caller says, you know, you guys, you don't have families, you're the reason your sons are in the condition that they're in. What we're not going to do is we're not going to pretend as if slavery didn't happen. We're not going to pretend that our ancestors were forbidden from reading and they were used as sex toys. That's what we're not going to do. Okay? We're not going to pretend like Jim Crow didn't affect black men. We're not going to pretend like black men were given equal footing as all the other races of men in society. We're not going to do that. We're not going to play pretend. When you have someone speaking like the caller, when you have someone speaking like the caller, you have to be ready. You have to have done your research. You have to know your history, because you have to let them know that, hey, listen, the game was not fair to begin with. When black people were freed from slavery, they were freed with the inability to read, the inability to take care of themselves. They had no resources. So I like to give this example with the game of Monopoly. So when you start the game of Monopoly, every player is given, I want to say $200, and they're also given some sort of transportation to move around the board. So whether it be the shoe, the horseman, the car, the different things that are used to get around the board. So everyone is on equal footing when you play that game, and then it's up to them to go around the board and face the adversities that they're going to face. Buy property, but initially you have the money to buy the property. Every time you pass go, you receive $200. Um, a lot of times, different players, if you've played the game, you end up in jail. You either pull a card to get out or you can pay your way out. Sometimes people go bankrupt. Sometimes people, are able to buy all of the properties and put houses and hotels on them. My point is that everybody starts on equal footing, and that's what the black family did not have the ability to do. And then, of course, when we did pull ourselves up our bootstraps and develop Black Wall Street, it was taken away from us because the government had a different plan for us. And when you realize that, you won't you'll take what this caller is saying with a grain of salt dealing with black men. So now what I want to address is, I want to address when he said that um, black men are beasts of the field, according to the Bible, and all they like to do is mate, 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 mate. Well, that's not what the Bible verse says. And you're dealing with the code. I do my research, and I do know the Bible, and I know what this gentleman was speaking of. So if we look at this portion of the Bible that says Israel's irresponsible leaders, Isaiah 56, 9 through 12, it says, all you beasts of the field come to devour, all you beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind, they are all without knowledge. They are all silent dogs, they cannot bark, dreaming, lying down, loving to slumber. The dogs have a mighty appetite. They never have enough, but they are shepherds who have no understanding. They have all turned to their own way, each to his own gain, one and all. Come, they say, let me get wine. Let us fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow will be like this day, great beyond measure. So when you break down these Bible verses, when the caller is saying you black men are the beasts of the field, this is what he means. It means that the black man has a strong desire for sex. In my opinion, they have a strong desire for sex. They have a strong desire for alcohol, and they have a strong desire for recreational drug use. They do it on a daily basis, all day, every day, and it makes them love slumber. Because what does alcohol do? It slows you down. What does weed do? It slows you down. What does sex do? It slows you down. However, when you're speaking in terms of the black man, he wasn't on equal footing. So this is all he had. This is what he leans on to pacify himself, because he knows that the world as it is today and as it was yesterday is not fair. Now, I'm not giving excuses to black men, because there is you have to pay attention to how the world works, and you have to recognize when it's your chance, when it's your turn, when the opportunity is there for you. And this is what the men of other races did. They saw their opportunity and they took it. So if we go to our border crisis right now, for us it's a border crisis. But for Hispanic people, that is the opportunity to get in and move and come to the United States and make a better way for themselves. So they themselves recognize that, hey, the gate is open. We better get in there. We better get in there right now. This is our chance. This is our shot. This is our opportunity. And not only have they taken this opportunity, they have taken other opportunities in the past. So they have had many, many turns to come over here. When you speak in terms of Africans, when you speak in terms of people from other races coming from other countries, they recognize their opportunity and they take it. And you know why? Because even though they have some people that are, high, they have some people that are drunk, they have a massive amount of people that aren't. And they wake each other up and say, hey, it's our opportunity. Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? Bring your weed, bring your booze, but let's go. And that is the number one thing black men don't do. They have had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, but because they like to have sex, because they like to do recreational drugs, and because they like to drink alcohol, they consistently miss their opportunities. Now, let's look at it in terms of education. When we were afforded the opportunity to get educated, we did it. We went to school. There was a generation of us that went to school, and that valued education, and knew that education was one of the ways that we were going to be able to be competitive irregardless of the times. So what ended up happening is the crack era. Crack was put into the Black community. That slowed a lot of people down. That took a lot of parents out of the homes. That got a lot of the fathers locked up. That got a lot of the mothers hooked on crack, and they were out in the street versus taking care of their children. So then when their children grew up, they grew up without their mother, they grew up without their father. Maybe they grew up with a grandmother that didn't get into the crack. But we have some grandmothers that did get into the crack, but these kids were raised by the grandmothers. So in turn, now they've grown up and now they don't value education because they're coming from broken homes. So now we have a generation of uneducated people. And then we have also, maybe I want to say, I'll just say half of that generation that did go to college. Now, the part of the generation that did go to college, they're actively positioning themselves, and they have positioned themselves to level up. But then you have that other half that decided that education was not the way, the streets was the way. And then when the opportunity presents itself and they wake up, they're not prepared because they have no education and they can't be competitive in the education slash job market. So what ends up happening is that now they do love slumber. They do focus on sex. They do focus on drugs. They are procreating at a high rate, and these children are not being taken care of. So this is where this caller is coming from. And so you have that generation that didn't, that half of the generation that didn't go to school and decided that the streets was the way. And so they have no value for family. They have no value for marriage. They only thing they value is money, sex, and drugs. So therefore, you're going to have them procreating and not making families, and then not even making their children a priority because they're so tied up in the sex and the recreational lifestyle. So that is, I can understand where this caller is coming from. So when you actually look at what he's saying, so we went over the beast of the field, why he said Black men are the beast of the field. Now we understand when he says all you do is have sex. Now here's the part where this point where he says you need the white man to tell you what to do. Well, let's break that down. Let's unpack that. When he said you need the white man to tell you what to do, well, yeah, the white man brought you over here. He forbid you to read. He forbid you to maintain your families. He broke up your families if you did have one. Sold your kids, sold your wife, sold the husband, and then even when Black people did get married, the marriage wasn't looked at as something sacred because the slave master still had sex with the wife, making the husband feel inferior. So, um, you know, and then they freed them. They freed the Black people. Okay, so free them into what? With what? They freed them into society with no resources, and then created Jim Crow to lock them up, hold them down. Then when they did get a Black Wall Street and they were functioning in a good manner to where they were marrying, they were taking care of their families, they were doing the things that they needed to do in order to keep the Black community thriving, what did they do? They took it. Okay. So now and then after they took it, it was like all of these other different races started to come into the United States and take the jobs, even the low level paying jobs, and would even work for less than minimum wage, and allowed the men of other races and the people of other races to position themselves in the jobs that should have been for the black family, should have been for the black man in order to take care of his family. But if you have black men out here with no way to take care of a family, no good paying jobs, no consistent jobs, a consistent paycheck, I mean, what in your right mind would tell you that he needs to go get a wife? He can't afford to take care of a wife. He can't afford to take care of a family, but he's continuously making mistakes by procreating. Now, yeah, the white man needed to tell the black man what to do because he is the one who didn't teach him, didn't train him to be able to thrive in society and maintain a family. So when he says you need the white man to tell you what to do, I agree 100% because there's a formula. There's a formula that black men do not have that would enable them to thrive in this society. And then the black men that are educated and that are able to thrive in this society, they have left that half of the generation that didn't do anything for themselves. They left them behind, and they're even getting the funds, the little bit of funds that they do have to maintain their status and take care of their family. So if you train the generation to fend for themselves, that means they're going to be thinking, they're going to be processing the most important needs, where their money should go. And I'm just going to keep it 100. That's not what the black people that are these entrepreneurs and these business owners and these black people that are selling stuff. That's not what they want you to do. They want you to stay stupid and spend your money in a crazy fashion. They want you to live outside of your means because it keeps you down. They want you to be able. They want you to be able to keep funneling your money to them so that they can stay and maintain where they are. So there's a lot of shystiness going on within the black community. And there are a massive, and don't be fooled, there are a massive amount of black people who are doing well. And there are a lot of white people like this caller who will not support black business. So black people that are high earners or business owners, they have to get their money from somewhere. And they get it from that half of the generation that didn't value education. So basically, you're being held down by white people and you're also being held down by your own people. So you have a double negative. And a negative and a negative equals they say it equals a positive, but it equals a negative. And correct me if I'm wrong. Now, there was one portion of this call where Miles said, "Hey, you know whether I'm black or not. I'm live on YouTube. How did you get this number? You called in." So the caller is saying, "Oh, I can tell you're a black man just by what came out your mouth." But Miles is saying, "Hey, wait a minute. How did you get this number? You see me on this YouTube live, and he's basically pretending like he doesn't know this is a black man." So when I have here throwing stones and then hide hand, that's exactly what this caller did. He threw stones and then he hid his hand. He hid the fact that he already knew he was talking to a black guy to make him look bad. Now, like I said, the caller was 100% right, but he can't. He's only half 100% right. The other 100% of his hand he's hiding because he wants to pretend like the downfall or the slumber and the sex and the recreation of the black man is not purposefully done. So, we're gonna keep that in mind. Yep, I kind of feel like black men did need to be checked. You did need to know that, hey, you having too much sex without making families, and you're doing too many drugs without education, and you're drinking, which is causing you to slumber. So another aspect that I wanted to look at, when he says, you men are at the bottom. The caller says you men are at the bottom. I put this little, I'll just call it a diagram together to really um, break down what he's saying. So if you look at level one, which is the bottom, there's porn, there's dating, there's babies, and there's maybe a job or maybe not. And this is where he's saying black men are consistently residing. And when you level up to level two, in the middle, you have gone to school, you have gotten a home, you have gotten a job, but you're still continuing this porn, which I will consider to be sex. No man and no woman is going to live their entire life without sex. So sex or porn is always going to be a part of people's lives. But what this caller is saying is that black men, you're living on the bottom because you're putting porn first, then you're dating, then you're making babies, and then you get a job, and then you don't even create a family and take care of them. So then when you go, like I said, to level two, that's you going to school, getting a job, preparing a home. Then you have your sex. When you level up to level three, you have your school is done. You have your job. You have your home. You create your family and you continue to have sex. And this is where he's saying the white men are. And this is where a lot of the other races of men are. They're on the second and third level, while black people continue to maintain a bottom, well, black men continue to maintain a bottom level status. So I just really wanted to break that down for you. And I was sort of disheartened by a lot of the female YouTubers that came on YouTube and just really made it seem like Miles got his ass handed to him, which he didn't. He didn't. He stood up for himself in the beginning, but he allowed the caller to talk so that he can see where he was coming from. So I just wanted to put that up. I don't like kicking people when they're down because I don't want anybody to kick me while I'm down. So I think it was pretty unfair how they just really um, did Miles and the things they were saying about him, and then the things they continue to say about black men. Like I said, we're not going to pretend like slavery did not happen. So I want to take you to this next point. This is an article that I read. The article was titled Sexual Relations Between Elite White Women and Enslaved Men in the Antebellum South, a socio-historical analysis. So I put a small part in here because I want to, I'll let you guys know where at the last point, I let you know the information on where you can find this article. But it reads, this trope is expressed by Reverend William Hooper in his 1947 address to the graduating class of the Sedgwick Female Seminary in Raleigh, North Carolina. Leave men to themselves without the intermixture of female society and the softening influence of female modesty, gentleness, and affection, and they would infallibly become rude, harsh, coarse, quarrelsome, and in their quarrels, cruel and unrelenting. The world would resemble an amphitheater of wild beasts. Let's unpack that. What he is saying is that, and this is my point of view, what this passage is saying is that we have a lot of Black men out here who do not have the comforts of a gentle, modest female, and because he doesn't have that, because he can't take care of a family, because he has little respect from society, because he has turned to being a sexual being to maintain the self-esteem that he does have, is causing him to be rude, harsh, coarse, quarrelsome, and unrelenting. And that's what has happened to our Black men. They don't have the self-esteem because they don't have the money, because they didn't get the education, and therefore they can't come home to a warm home with a loving wife and beautiful children and security. They have no job security, which means they can't provide a secure home for a woman. So, with that being said, without those things, it turns them into wild beasts. And this is what we need to start understanding. For me, I want to say that the Black relationship is void at this point in time, because everybody is out to have sex, out to get money, out to have fun, but nobody is out to create a safe and secure home for a family or for their kids. So even when you have your single mothers, they're out there too thinking that, sex is the way, or consistently having a man in their home is the way, whether the man is a father or not. We have a lot of Black women that have men running in and out of their homes, being used and abused, and sometimes their children are even abused, but they can't see through the fact that these men are beasts that are coming in and out of their homes. They have no they have no sense of caring, because they're so hardened, because they don't have anything, and they failed to put themselves in good positions when opportunity presented itself. So, with that being said, I want to let you guys know where I got the article from. It is by Anon M. It was written in 2013, Volume 5, Number 8. And I think you can click on this and it will send you to the website, or you can copy and paste. And I will probably put this in the description box so that you can find it and read it. It is a good read, you guys. I really want you to go and read this article, because I posted a video early this morning, and I was referencing this article that I read, and it has some good information in here. And this is what we need to start doing. We need to start looking back and then bringing it forward, because it is going to enlighten you and enable you to understand what it is you're doing wrong. Another point that I wanted to mention, um, regarding these Bible verses, you know, you have to, there's an art to war. And one of the arts of war is to know thy enemy, or to, and I don't, and we'll take it from enemy. You have to know what the people that are against you, why they are against you, and where they're getting their views from. And when you think in terms of the United States was based upon family and religion. So, if, just like this caller, when he said, you guys are the beasts of the field, in the Bible, you're the beasts of the field. A lot of people probably didn't understand what he was saying, because you don't know where this man is coming from. White people, they're Christians, and they base their behavior and their morals and their values on the Bible. If you are a black person and you do not know the Bible, you will not know where white people are coming from, and you will not know how to deal with them, and you will not be able to understand them. So this Bible is who the Christian white man is. And if you don't know it, you don't know the white man. You don't have to believe in the Bible in order to read it, because this is what's going to give you the information about white people and how they think and where they're coming from and why they're so against you. Because, like I said, the United States is based on family and religion. As a black man, if you have no family and if you have no religion, they see you as beasts of the field, because all you're doing is going around having sex, doing drugs, slumbering, and getting up and doing the same thing again, all over again, that you did the previous day. So, like I said, you don't have to believe in the Bible, but you damn sure better read it. Otherwise, you're going to continue. You're going to continue to lose. Anyway, you guys. Once again, I want to let you guys know where I got this article from. I really cannot stress the importance of reading it. It's a very good read. And so this is B with the B code, and I'm out. And thank you for watching, and thank you to my subscribers.